Welcome to Bolivia. Bolivia, a land where reality and myth intertwine, where mountains whisper ancient secrets and deserts reflect the sky itself. From the infinite mirror of the Salar de Uyuni to the sacred waters of Lake Titicaca, from the crimson mystery of Laguna Colorada to the perilous curves of the Death Road, Bolivia is not just a country, it is an enigma waiting to be unveiled. But beyond landscapes carved by time lies something deeper, a culture rooted in millennia, where Tiwanaku's ruins echo forgotten civilizations and age-old traditions breathe life into festivals and vibrant markets. Here, history and modernity walk side by side, and every encounter with its people leaves a lasting mark on the soul. Now, for the first time, experience Bolivia as never before, through the lens of a 4K documentary that captures its hidden beauty, its living legends, and its untold stories. Are you ready to journey into the unknown? Elbow of the Andes. Hidden deep within Bolivia lies a natural marvel few outside the country have ever heard of: the elbow of the Andes. This dramatic bend in the mighty mountain chain is where the Andes, stretching unbroken for thousands of miles, suddenly curve eastward, as if the earth itself had been folded by some ancient force. Geologists see it as a rare geological puzzle, a place where tectonic power is written into the land. But for local communities, the elbow is more than rock and ridge. It is a sacred landmark, a gateway between highland and lowland worlds. Standing here, you can witness the Andes redirecting their path, shaping climates, rivers, and even cultures across South America. Laguna Colorada. High in the Bolivian Andes, at more than 14,000 feet above sea level, lies a lake that defies belief. Laguna Colorada, the Red Lagoon. Its waters shimmer in shades of crimson and rust, colored by microscopic algae and rich sediments. Against this surreal backdrop, thousands of flamingos gather, their pink feathers glowing like living jewels on a painted canvas. Surrounded by smoking volcanoes and windswept desert, the lagoon feels almost unearthly, a place where science and legend meet. Some see it as a sacred mirror of the gods, others as nature's own masterpiece of chemistry and light. Valley of the Rocks. In the remote highlands of Bolivia lies a place sculpted not by human hands, but by time itself, the Valley of the Rocks. Here, colossal stone formations rise from the desert floor, twisted into shapes that resemble castles, giants, and even animals frozen in stone. Carved over millions of years by volcanic activity and relentless winds, the valley feels like an open-air museum of natural art. Local legends and these rocks were once warriors turned to stone, guardians of the Altiplano who remain watchful over the land. Standing among them, silence stretches for miles, broken only by the call of wild vicuñas. At nearly 16,000 feet above sea level, in the desolate wilderness of southern Bolivia, lies a landscape that seems torn from another planet. The Sol de Mañana geysers, the sun of tomorrow. Here, the earth boils and breathes. Steam vents roar from the ground, bubbling mud pools churn violently, and geysers spit clouds of sulfur into the icy air. The smell of minerals and the hiss of escaping gas remind visitors that they are standing above raw, living geology. Scientists see Sol de Mañana as a window into the planet's inner fire, but local traditions whisper that these vents are the breath of ancient spirits guarding the Andes. Valle de las Animas. Just outside La Paz lies a landscape that feels born from dreams and shadows, the Valle de las Animas, or Valley of the Souls. Towering spires of eroded earth rise like cathedral pillars, stretching toward the sky in silent formation. Locals say the wind that whistles through the canyon carries the voices of lost souls, giving the valley its haunting name. Scientists explain the formations as the slow work of rain and erosion, but standing among them feels far from ordinary geology. The jagged towers glow golden at sunrise and turn crimson at sunset, as if the valley itself were alive. For travelers, Valle de las Animas is more than a spectacle of nature. It is a place where myth and landscape merge, a reminder that in Bolivia, even the earth seems to have a spirit. La Paz City. High in the Andes, at nearly 12,000 feet above sea level, sprawls one of the most extraordinary cities on Earth, La Paz, Bolivia's seat of government. Cradled in a giant canyon and surrounded by towering peaks, the city seems suspended between heaven and earth. Cable cars glide silently above its neighborhoods, connecting worlds that climb from the valley floor to the wind-swept plateau. At its heart, colonial plazas echo with history, while bustling markets overflow with colors, sounds, and ancient traditions. Beyond the modern skyline, the snow-capped guardian Illimani watches over the city like a timeless spirit. Lago Titicaca. On the border of Bolivia and Peru lies a body of water steeped in legend. Lake Titicaca, the highest navigable lake in the world. At over 12,000 feet above sea level, its vast blue surface mirrors the sky, creating the illusion of infinity. For the Inca, this was the cradle of creation, the place where the sun god Inti was born, and the first rulers of their empire emerged from its sacred waters. Today, reed boats still glide across the lake, piloted by the Euros people, who live on floating islands they weave by hand. Beneath its depths, archaeologists have uncovered ancient temples, fueling stories of lost civilizations and hidden treasures. Parque Nacional Sajama. High on Bolivia's western frontier, Parque Nacional Sajama is a land where nature and culture merge into something almost timeless. Established as Bolivia's first national park, Sajama is crowned by the snow-capped Nevado Sajama, the nation's tallest peak, rising more than 21,000 feet into the sky. Surrounding it stretch endless high-altitude plains where herds of vicuñas graze and rare Andean flamingos feed in mirrored lagoons. Ancient quenua forests, some of the highest growing trees on Earth, cling to the mountain slopes, defying the brutal cold of the Altiplano. But Sajama is not only about landscapes, it is also home to Aymara communities who have preserved centuries-old traditions of weaving, farming, and spiritual rituals connected to the mountains. In this silent world of wind, stone, and sky, time feels slower, and every horizon holds the weight of myth. They call it the Death Road, and for good reason. Stretching from the Andean heights near La Paz down to the humid Yungas, the Carretera de la Muerte drops nearly 11,000 feet in just 40 miles. A single-lane dirt track carved into sheer cliffs, with waterfalls crashing across the road and fog that blinds even the most cautious driver, it was once labeled the world's most dangerous road. For decades, buses and trucks braved its sharp turns and bottomless drops, often with tragic results. Today, most heavy traffic has been rerouted, but thrill seekers still come from across the globe to bike its terrifying descent. The Death Road is not just Bolivia's most infamous highway, it is a journey from one world into another, a reminder of both human daring and nature's unforgiving power. High above the city of Cochabamba rises one of the largest statues of Christ on Earth, the Cristo de la Concordia. Standing over 130 feet tall, it surpasses even Rio's famous Christ the Redeemer, making it a true giant of faith and engineering. To reach it, visitors climb more than 1,700 steps, each one offering wider views of the sprawling valley below. At the summit, Christ's open arms stretch toward the horizon, symbolizing peace, unity, and protection over the Bolivian people. But beyond its religious meaning, the statue tells a story of human ambition, built not only to honor God, but also in the heart of the Bolivian Altiplano lies a place that feels almost otherworldly, the Sala de Uyuni, the largest salt flat on Earth. Spanning more than 4,000 square miles, it is so vast that astronauts say it can be seen from space. During the dry season, the land stretches endlessly in a blinding sea of white, cracked into perfect hexagonal patterns of salt. But when the rains arrive, this desert transforms into the world's greatest natural mirror, reflecting the sky so perfectly that it erases the horizon. Beneath the salt crust lies one of the planet's richest reserves of lithium, the white gold of the modern age. Flamingos gather in the shallow lagoons nearby, while ancient cacti rise from the islands that dot the flats like guardians of another realm. Hidden within the vast landscapes of Sajama National Park lies Tomarapi Village, a small Aymara community that feels frozen in time. Nestled at the foot of Bolivia's highest peak, Nevado Sajama, this village offers a rare glimpse into ancestral life in the Andes. Its stone houses, thatched roofs, and narrow paths are surrounded by a backdrop of snow-capped mountains, windswept plains, and grazing llamas. Tomarapi is not just a village, it is a living tradition. Here, locals preserve their Aymara culture through weaving, farming, and rituals tied to the rhythms of the land. The air is thin, but the warmth of the people is profound, welcoming travelers into community-run lodges where authenticity takes center stage. Pumapunku is one of the most mysterious archaeological sites on Earth, located near Tiwanaku in Bolivia. Its name means the Door of the Puma, in Aymara, and it is a place where history and enigma collide. What makes Puma Punku extraordinary are its massive stone blocks, some weighing more than 100 tons, carved with an almost impossible precision. The H-shaped stones fit together like giant three-dimensional puzzles, so exact that not even a razor blade can slide between them. Yet these blocks were created centuries before modern tools or machinery. How did ancient builders transport and cut these stones with such accuracy? Some theories suggest advanced engineering, while others lean toward the realm of the unexplained, fueling endless debates among historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts of ancient mysteries. Cerro Olagüe is a towering stratovolcano that rises on the border between Bolivia and Chile in the heart of the Andes. It reaches over 19,000 feet above sea level, making it one of the giants of the Altiplano. What makes Cerro Olagüe truly fascinating is that it's still an active volcano, with fumaroles constantly releasing plumes of smoke and steam into the thin Andean air. Adding to its mystery, an old sulfur mine clings to its slopes, where you can still find the remnants of narrow-gauge railway tracks used decades ago by miners working in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Copacabana town is one of Bolivia's most enchanting destinations, resting on the shores of the sacred lake Titicaca. At an elevation of more than 12,000 feet, it is a place where spirituality, tradition, and breathtaking landscapes intertwine. The town is most famous for the Basilica of Our Lady of Copacabana, a stunning, whitewashed church that houses the revered Dark Virgin of the Lake, a figure deeply venerated across the Andes. Pilgrims travel here year-round, filling the streets with processions, music, and color. But Copacabana is more than a religious center. Its lakeside setting makes it a gateway to the legendary Isla del Sol and Isla de la Luna, islands steeped in Inca mythology. As the sun sets over the world's highest navigable lake, the entire horizon glows with gold and crimson, offering travelers one of the most unforgettable views in South America. Amboro National Park is one of Bolivia's greatest hidden treasures, a sanctuary where three worlds collide: the Amazon rainforest, the Andes Mountains, and the dry Chaco region. Spanning more than 4 million acres, this vast wilderness is home to an astonishing biodiversity that rivals anywhere on Earth. Here, jaguars roam through dense forests, spectacled bears climb high ridges, and over 800 species of birds fill the skies with color and sound. Amboro is not just about wildlife, it's about mystery. Many of its valleys remain unexplored, and indigenous communities still live in harmony with the land, preserving traditions passed down for centuries. The Cordillera Real mountain range is Bolivia's crown of the Andes, a breathtaking chain of jagged peaks stretching for more than 125 miles. Towering above them all is Illimani, the iconic giant that watches over La Paz at nearly 22,000 feet. What makes the Cordillera Real extraordinary is its contrast. Colossal snow-capped summits surrounded by the vast arid altiplano. Hidden within are turquoise glacial lakes, ancient trails once walked by the Incas, and villages where Aymara traditions still thrive. This range is also a paradise for adventurers. Climbers and trekkers come from around the world to test themselves against its icy walls and dizzying passes. Yet beyond the adrenaline, there's an aura of mystery, the sense that these mountains hold secrets carved into stone and ice long before recorded history. The Sololi Desert is one of Bolivia's most surreal landscapes, often called the gateway to the Eduardo Avaroa Andean Fauna Reserve. Perched at nearly 15,000 feet above sea level, this desert is not made of endless dunes, but of strange rock formations sculpted by wind and time. The most famous of these is the Stone Tree, a natural rock tower shaped like a giant petrified tree, rising from the barren ground. Despite its harsh conditions, life endures here. Vicuñas roam across the plains, and rare high-altitude plants cling to survival. The Sololi Desert is not just a destination, it's an otherworldly experience where nature reveals both its artistry and its resilience. Lomas de Arena is one of Bolivia's most surreal wonders, a vast sea of golden dunes rising unexpectedly near Santa Cruz. Spanning more than 7,000 acres, these dunes, some as tall as a 12-story building, are constantly reshaped by strong winds, creating shifting waves of sand that seem almost alive. What makes this place unique is its contrast. Just beyond the desert, savannas, wetlands, and tropical forests thrive, home to capybaras, howler monkeys, and over 200 bird species. For travelers, it's both a wildlife sanctuary and an adventure playground, perfect for sandboarding, hiking, and stargazing. At sunset, the dunes glow fiery red and gold, turning Lomas de Arena into one of Bolivia's most unforgettable landscapes. A place where desert and jungle meet in striking harmony. Cerro Rico de Potosi is one of the most legendary mountains in South America, rising more than 15,000 feet above sea level. Known as the Rich Mountain, it once fueled the Spanish Empire with unimaginable wealth. In the 16th and 17th centuries, vast quantities of silver were extracted from its heart. So much, it was said, that a road of silver could have been built all the way from Bolivia to Spain. But Cerro Rico's riches came with a tragic cost. Millions of indigenous people and African slaves were forced to work in brutal conditions inside its dark tunnels, and countless lives were lost. Even today, miners still enter the mountain, continuing a tradition of labor that spans centuries. Potosi is a city unlike any other. Perched at over 13,000 feet above sea level, it is one of the highest cities in the world. Once the beating heart of the Spanish Empire, Potosi grew around Cerro Rico, the fabled rich mountain, whose silver mines financed palaces, cathedrals, and empires across Europe. In the 16th century, it became one of the largest and wealthiest cities on Earth, rivaling capitals like London and Paris. But behind the grandeur lies a story of hardship. Millions of indigenous people and African slaves were forced into the mines, and countless lives were lost to extract the mountain's treasure. Today, Potosi is a UNESCO World Heritage Site where colonial churches, grand plazas, and the haunting presence of Cerro Rico tell a tale of splendor and suffering intertwined. Walking its cobbled streets, you feel history echo in every stone, a reminder that Potosi was both a city of unimaginable riches and one of humanity's greatest tragedies. Cochabamba is known as the City of Eternal Spring, a vibrant heart of Bolivia nestled in a fertile valley at over 8,000 feet above sea level. Its mild climate and rich lands have made it a center of agriculture, feeding the nation with everything from corn and potatoes to exotic fruits. But Cochabamba is more than fields and markets. Towering above the city is the Cristo de la Concordia, one of the tallest statues of Christ in the world, even larger than Rio's famous Christ the Redeemer. From its summit, the city stretches endlessly, framed by rolling hills and snow-dusted peaks. Cochabamba is also a city of culture and resistance. It was here that major uprisings sparked Bolivia's independence, and more recently, the famous Water War made it a symbol of people's struggle for justice. Colorful festivals, bustling plazas, and a thriving culinary scene make Cochabamba a city of life and energy, where history, tradition, and modernity blend under skies of eternal spring. Sucre is the constitutional capital of Bolivia and one of the most beautiful colonial cities in South America. Nestled in a mountain valley at more than 9,000 feet above sea level, it is often called the White City for its dazzling whitewashed buildings, elegant churches, and red-tiled rooftops that shine under the Andean sun. This city is not only charming, but historic. It was here, in 1825, that Bolivia declared its independence, making Sucre the birthplace of the nation. Its colonial center, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, feels like stepping back in time, with cobbled streets, leafy plazas, and the Gran Casa de la Libertad where the Declaration was signed. Yet Sucre holds mysteries beyond history. Nearby, at Calorco, lies one of the world's largest collections of dinosaur footprints, etched into a massive cliff, a surreal reminder that this land has witnessed stories stretching far beyond human time. Sucre is where Bolivia's soul comes alive, in its history, architecture, and timeless beauty. Alpacas in Bolivia are among the country's most treasured animals, thriving in the high-altitude plateaus of the Altiplano. Grazing at elevations above 12,000 feet, they are perfectly adapted to the thin air and freezing nights of the Andes. Bolivian alpacas are prized worldwide for their luxurious fiber, warmer than wool and softer than cashmere, making them central to the nation's textile traditions. Beyond their economic importance, alpacas hold cultural and spiritual significance for Aymara and Quechua communities, often associated with fertility, abundance, and a sacred bond with the land. In Bolivia, alpacas are more than animals. They are symbols of resilience, heritage, and the enduring connection between people and the harsh yet beautiful landscapes of the Andes. Tiwanaku is one of Bolivia's greatest archaeological treasures, a pre-Columbian city that once stood as the heart of a powerful Andean civilization long before the rise of the Inca. Located near the shores of Lake Titicaca at almost 13,000 feet above sea level, it is a place where history and mystery intertwine. The ruins reveal extraordinary achievements, massive stone structures, finely carved monoliths, and precise architectural alignments with the sun and stars. Among its most famous sites, Tiwanaku was not just a city, it was a spiritual and political center, influencing vast regions of the Andes between 500 and 1000 AD. How its people carved, transported and assembled such enormous stones without modern tools remains an unanswered question. Today, Tiwanaku stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a silent reminder of a civilization whose secrets are still waiting to be uncovered. Huayna Potosi Mountain is one of Bolivia's most iconic peaks, rising to nearly 20,000 feet just outside La Paz. Nicknamed the Mountain of Youth, it is considered one of the most accessible high summits in the world, a place where even novice climbers can stand atop a glacier-covered giant. But don't be fooled by its reputation. The ascent is still a challenge, with sheer ice walls, crevasses, and winds that cut like blades in the thin air of the Andes. Those who reach the summit are rewarded with one of the most breathtaking panoramas in South America. Endless views of the Cordillera Real, the shimmering waters of Lake Titicaca, and even the distant Amazon basin. Huayna Potosi is more than a climb, it's a rite of passage. For locals, it's a sacred mountain, a guardian of the Altiplano. For adventurers, it's the dream of touching the sky. The train cemetery, Cementerio de Trenes, located near Uyuni in Bolivia, is one of the country's most unusual and haunting attractions. It is home to dozens of rusting steam locomotives and rail cars dating back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when Bolivia's railway system was thriving and vital for transporting minerals from the Andes to the coast. As the mining industry declined in the mid-20th century, the trains were abandoned and left to decay on the windswept Altiplano. Today, their skeletal frames, corroded by time and desert winds, create a surreal open-air museum that fascinates visitors. The site has become a popular stop for travelers heading to Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat, offering a glimpse into Bolivia's industrial past, wrapped in an atmosphere of mystery and forgotten grandeur. Oruro City, Located on the Bolivian Altiplano at over 3,700 meters above sea level, is a vibrant mining town with deep cultural and religious traditions. Once an important silver mining hub during colonial times, Oruro is now most famous for its annual carnival, recognized by UNESCO as a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. This spectacular event blends indigenous Andean rituals with Catholic traditions, featuring colorful parades, elaborate costumes, and the iconic Diablada, Dance of the Devils. Beyond the carnival, Oruro is known for its mining heritage, with Cerro Pie de Gallo and surrounding mines symbolizing the city's industrial past. It also hosts the Sanctuary of the Virgin of Socavón, the patroness of miners, which is central to the city's identity. Elbow of the Andes. Hidden deep within Bolivia lies a natural marvel few outside the country have ever heard of: the Elbow of the Andes. This dramatic bend in the mighty mountain chain is where the Andes, stretching unbroken for thousands of miles, suddenly curve eastward, as if the earth itself had been folded by some ancient force. Geologists see it as a rare geological puzzle, a place where tectonic power is written into the land. But for local communities, the Elbow is more than rock and ridge. It is a sacred landmark, a gateway between highland and lowland worlds. Standing here, you can witness the Andes redirecting their path, shaping climates, rivers, and even cultures across South America. Laguna Colorada. High in the Bolivian Andes, at more than 14,000 feet above sea level, lies a lake that defies belief. Laguna Colorada, the Red Lagoon. Its waters shimmer in shades of crimson and rust, colored by microscopic algae and rich sediments. Against this surreal backdrop, thousands of flamingos gather, their pink feathers glowing like living jewels on a painted canvas. Surrounded by smoking volcanoes and windswept desert, the lagoon feels almost unearthly, a place where science and legend meet. Some see it as a sacred mirror of the gods, others as nature's own masterpiece of chemistry and light.